can be only one podcast, and may it be the Princess of the Universe. Hi, folks. I'm Matt.
I'm Bruce.
Hey, we got a third person in the studio. It's very rare that we have three in here.
It happens every once in a while.
I think every once in a while it happens, every blue moon. And this time we have another former roommate of mine, Stephen. How's it going, man?
Pretty good, man.
Oh, man.
Good.
Now, so we're going to have to do another whole episode of stories about us.
Oh, no. We don't want that floating out on the internet.
It depends on how much your wife is going to pay me for those secrets.
She might be paid.
I got tons of great stuff. But no, and actually Stephen's here because you are the reason they gave us the whole idea to do this series of podcasts we're about to start, going through the Wheel of Time books. As most people know, and I think we talked about in the last podcast, Wheel of Time's getting their own TV show, 2021.
Something like that.
Something like that, or late 2020, so it's going to be filming now.
Yes. I think they just had a table read of episode 5.
Okay. Wow. Look at.
Okay, they're moving along.
Someone's way up on the news than we are.
I follow a couple other guys that really keep up with all like.
Oh, right. Yeah, you told me about.
Yeah, there's Nablus and Daniel Green.
And so, you're a huge fan of Wheel of Time.
Yes.
Yeah,
but very late.
You say yes because, well, no, I understand very late. When did you first find out about it?
3, maybe 4 years ago.
Okay. Had you always known about them? Like, I had known about them.
I had never heard of them. A buddy of mine told me about them after I finished the Song of Ice and Fire series. I was looking for something else that would require a lot of time. I listened to all of my books. I work with my hands, and so I just needed
just something to devour,
something to be listening to. And he's like, man, if you want to get into something, it's going to require a lot of time. This is it. This is a 14-book series, and plus the
prequel. Yeah.
So.
Well, the Will Weaves is the Will Weave with the wheel. Messed it up. I screwed it up.
The
wheel weaves as the wheel wills. There it is. And this you were saying this is your third time.
Yes. Well, I just started book 1 again.
And like each book is like 8 days long.
Yeah. Well, this afternoon, whenever you told me we were going to do it tonight, I said, okay, well, let me look and see how much I have left. And I was on chapter 43 of 55. I don't know if that's necessarily chapter divisions, but that's how the audio
was broken up.
Oh, this is great. And I started listening to it. I said, wait, what is going on? It turns out I'd fallen asleep. And 7 chapters had played while I was asleep. So I had to go back. And after that, I was like, well, there's no way
I'm finishing. 7 hours had passed until the next day when you woke up.
Each of the chapters is about 43 to 45 minutes.
In book 1 they are.
Yeah.
In book 4 it's like a minute. No, a minute. I was like, a minute or 1? Something must be wrong. It was an hour and 1 minute and 44 seconds. I was like, oh, wow. Yeah. Bruce, when did you hop on this Wheel of Time?
It was about the same time you were. We were both in the science fiction book club, and we're getting them.
Me too. And it was, do you know who it was? It was Sean from Texarkana. I can't think of his last name right now. Mahaffey, who had said, you really need to read Wheel of Time. It's really good.
Okay.
Now, hopefully you can help me out. I know Winter's Heart was out, but was Crossroads of Twilight out? That's about the time we came in. Somewhere. Winter's Heart, I don't know. I'm looking at it now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're 9 or 10 books
that feels
out.
right. I feel like that was the new one on the
because I know for sure Winter's Heart was out.
I saw it at Walden Books.
So Crossroads of Twilight was the new one?
I want to think so.
Yeah, because I know for sure Winter's Heart was out. But I can't remember that question. Whatever, I don't know.
It was like in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, they were all out by the time I started.
Yeah. And see,
he was already dead.
And then Sanderson finished up.
Because the rumor was, let me see, that was book, what did we just say? 9, so 10 had come out. The rumor was it was going to be 12 books. In fact, that's what Robert Jordan said.
Oh, yeah. He wanted the last one.
It was going to be 12 books. And so I said, oh, no, it was book 10. Because I told Sean, Sean, I don't read anything until it's done. He went, Matt, he said, book 10 is coming out. He said, it's only got 2 more books. And he said, believe me, these are big. This is big back for audio, but he said, believe me, these are big whopping books. He said, so by the time you get there, he said, don't worry, you won't have to wait long for 2 more books. I was like, oh, okay. Liar.
Well, there was some, circumstances.
I know, but I think New Spring had already been out too. So
Yes.
he did tell me there was an extra book there that I could read, and he said there'd be plenty of books to read. And by the time I was reading, he said 11 would be out, and he said even if you read really fast, 11 would be out, and you'd only have to wait for 12. I thought, well, that's fair.
You know what? This had to be around 2005, 2006 when we went to Comic-Con. Because didn't you have the books to take to get him signed?
Yes.
And that's when you saw him and like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
like a big
2005.
Yeah,
2005.
you told me about that.
Yeah, because he was super thin at that time. He didn't look anything like I'd seen in his pictures.
Yeah.
And it was when did he pass away?
Right after that.
Yeah, not long after that.
It
No,
was that year. He died.
he had
that
already
year.
known. He had already known, I think, but
Yeah.
he didn't reveal it till later. He finished off his tour, but he was like super. I was like, is that Robert? Doesn't look like Robert Jordan. Robert Jordan is a big man, and he must be going on a diet.
Again, because I haven't read the books, I don't even know if I know what he looks like. I know what he sounds like because at the end of the books, I don't know if you've heard that, but the interview he has with I guess it's Thor. It's at the end of the audiobooks.
Okay,
I always
I
thought
always stop it because I'm like, okay, I don't want to hear the. I thought
it's
it
an
was just
interview
the.
with him.
Okay, I'll have to go back
listen
then.
to it.
I'll have to
It's
go
good.
back then.
And
I
as you
will.
listen to it, just picture. To me,
I'm Robert Jordan, and I approve this message.
well, it's funny when I first started listening to it. Well, I guess it was 2016 because when I heard his voice the first time, I thought he sounded like Ben Carson.
Oh wow!
The guy that-
Wow.
the-
Okay.
the
Yeah.
Burn
Yeah.
City.
Okay. So that's interesting, but that's about the time we got into it. We got into it at the same time.
Yeah.
And I remember I went ahead and just bought because science. You're right. All those are science fiction book club there, except for the last. Looks like 1 or 2.
That's strange that it fell into science fiction.
Yeah,
Well,
was
Science
fantasy.
Fiction Book Club did fantasy too. So,
Okay.
and you could get 6 books for $1. You know,
And
I mean,
we would get
back-
those and then
back in the-
cancel and then.
Yeah, back
like
you had to buy
old,
6 for $1,
yes.
3 for regular price, and then you were out. But then
Okay.
no, 4 for regular price. But then you could buy your first one at half off if you bought it right then and there.
Yeah.
And so, and of course, that 6 books went to 5 books. The 5 books went to 4 books, and then eventually it's not anymore.
well,
and that's
yeah,
kind of weird.
Books kind of.
It's
Yeah.
kind of weird though, because it's
Everything back.
funny that books were cheaper back in the day. But you think, I mean, it's like you'll never get that 6 books for $1 anymore. It's like,
And really, it's crazy how expensive Kindle books are sometimes.
yeah.
Like you can find stuff that's cheap, but it's cheap stuff, and you don't really care.
And I say that, but the thing is, reading was really big back then. People are like big into, and I guess that's why they could afford to do those specials. Get people involved
If you
more.
don't have an Audible account, audiobooks are super expensive.
Mhm.
Well, see, that was my
I
problem.
understand.
Back in those days, I was buying the CDs.
Oh wow!
And
I mean, you're paying $50-$60.
and that's why I only got through book 4 back in those days.
I remember the
Now-
first audiobook I ever listened to was the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And another person and I went in together to buy the trilogy, and it was $90. And that was on sale.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy because now some of those CDs are worth a lot now because the Harry Potter CDs are hundreds of dollars,
So it depends
and
on-
you used to have them.
Well, I've got them. They're
Which
going
reader?
to crap and missing discs and
okay.
Jim Dale.
Jim Dale.
Jim
See, I
Dale.
listened to Stephen Fry.
And you are the, I would say, oddball out because I've never heard anyone say they like Stephen Fry better. In fact, I'm going to
never
get.
listened to the Jim Dale.
Oh,
But there's
okay.
this huge internet fight on who's
Yes,
better, but
no.
it all depends on which one you listen
Emily
to.
Hillicky will fight you.
She thinks Jim
over-
Dale's better?
Oh yeah. Now I don't know if she's listened to Stephen Fry or maybe she did. And she didn't like him. But I'd love to get you two on here and have you two kill each other over debating that.
I'm not going
I never listened to Stephen Fry.
debate one way or the other because I have not listened to Jim Dale's
Well,
version.
Jim
I
Dale-
listened to Jim Dale do the Lord of the Rings.
Did you like that?
Yes, absolutely. And I thought it was great that anytime that there was an actual song in the story, he actually sang it.
Yeah.
But the next time I go through the books, Harry Potter, I'm gonna ask for the Stephen Fry ones
Okay.
from
I
you
got it.
because I just recently redid them. But a couple of years down the road, I'll probably give it another shot. But Stephen Fry will be next. Do you have him on your keys? Shut up. How many How much does that hold?
It's
That keychain there. That's a terabyte.
No,
What is
32 gigs.
Holy crap. Okay, those things are...
I keep
okay.
that, Song of Ice and Fire. I think I have the Wheel of Time on there.
Oh, wow.
And the Harry Potter series.
Okay.
And there's one
The
other.
Twilight series.
No.
He's already listened to that.
50 Shades.
Honestly,
50
I
Shades.
did listen to him.
50 Shades of Grey.
No.
The trilogy, the core trilogy. I don't know what it is. There's more than one, right?
You knew it was a trilogy.
No, I don't. It's 51 and 52
shades
shades.
of gray can there be?
I don't know. I don't know what one shade looks
we
like.
got on a really bad tangent.
I tell you what.
Welcome to the episode.
It's funny that the guy who picked this podcast is like, well, what does this have to do about Will Time? Okay.
You got some nerds going, 50 shades of gray.
Rendell Thor.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yeah. But anyway, so that's what got me on to them, and I did enjoy them. And it'd been a long time, and I remember you had come up to me and you said, "Hey, I didn't know that you liked the Wheel of Time. You'd read it. You'd heard from someone that I'd read them."
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Probably me. But
yeah.
talking about what
okay.
Yeah,
But- And so we started talking about it again. You said about the TV show. I said, "Oh yeah, I remember hearing something about that." And is that? I mean, because the thing is though, you hear something got bought, but then it stays in production limbo forever.
Yeah.
And I remember I asked you, "Well, is that thing even moving forward?" You know, because
they've been talking about it for years.
well, yeah. Well, remember the whole we even talked about it a year or so ago. The
I
whole
think it was longer than
debacle on FX.
Oh
years ago.
yeah. They did do an episode
Where they did that just to keep the rights.
Yeah, it was
It's awful.
Red Eagle or Red,
Whatever. It was
something or
just awful.
Well, whenever the contract was about to be,
And they had to do something with it.
and Amazon was showing some interest, especially after Game of Thrones and several other fantasy
Right.
things had ended. Everybody was looking for the next. fantasy.
Yeah, they're looking for that.
So Amazon was like, well, we got to get
Well,
something.
Time, yeah.
Well, they did get something.
Well, they did. They did.
Yeah.
And then they dropped Conan to do Wheel of Time. I'm a little kind of
Okay, so
Robert Jordan wrote several Conan.
I don't know.
we're gonna be breaking down just this book by book, and I have a good feeling that we can probably do this pretty good because you're pretty well learned in the books. Bruce says, I can read one a week. I was
Everything's
like,
at least fresh on his mind.
I think I'm doing good because I think I'm doing one every 2 weeks, but this dude's
Wow.
saying one a week. Well, you know, I've told you. I think it's been in one every 2 weeks, right, on the average?
Yeah.
Right now I'm on chat, but it's going to be harder as these books go on. They're getting
Yeah, they get bigger.
they get thick.
Yeah.
They're getting thick. Like
Yeah.
I thought I'd be.
Especially when you get to the what people call the slog. I think it's 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah,
That
I know.
not
Just
a whole lot happens.
happens.
A lot
it just
of
drags.
just
And we'll
just
talk,
maneuvering.
but I think we can talk about that too. So anyway, unless he's keep going, I'm gonna keep going too. But of course, Out of the World is the first one.
Mhm.
Big one when it came out. Obviously, it made a big impact because it spawned the series.
Right.
First off, do you think that Robert Jordan had a plan? Was he George Lucas that just kind of said, "I'm gonna see how this goes," or did he say, was he the guy from I can't remember, Babylon 5, Michael, who had the plan from you know what I'm talking, whatever, who had that plan from day one?
Yeah. Not that listening to the first book for the first time in a long time was almost like doing it for the first time. Period. I didn't see a lot that foreshadowed stuff. Now maybe I would when I get further along, but nothing was yelling foreshadow to me this time through.
For me, yes.
Yeah, but I'm sure if you go back,
I mean, the series is a lot more fresh in my mind. There's a lot more foreshadowing than I remembered even reading it the second time. Just names here and there,
Or not just
little hints that some side character knows about, but it didn't sound that important at the time. But
there's a lot of
There are.
Whoa, that's a big deal.
The I Should Die says a few things to him that's going to come true later on.
And one
That
thing
Rand doesn't believe or doesn't see going.
Right,
Doesn't know how she knows.
Mm-hmm.
I think one thing I noticed
There is a little foreshadowing.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
one thing I noticed, and maybe it's something that's part of what you're talking about, is the middle of the book. There wasn't much going on. Now, characters are just moving from one place to another.
They split after Shadow or Logon.
And there was a whole lot of them doing not much, and it taking a long time. Now, it was all good. It was all interesting. It was captivating, but at the same time, it didn't feel like it was feeding me the main story. It was
No.
So I don't know if that's something that
Well,
what you're talking about.
I mean, we've all read it before, and I don't want to.
Well, we're going.
Yeah,
we're going.
no
Well,
spoilers. No spoilers.
no.
I think no.
Well, this is not a huge
Oh,
spoiler.
not for the book.
You kind of know just based off of the POV, but in the first book, there's still supposed to be a little bit of okay, who is the Dark One actually after?
Yes.
Right.
In the first book, the Dark One doesn't know exactly which one. That's why he's sending all three, Perrin,
Matt, and Rand,
the dreams, and he's not sure which one it is yet.
Yeah, he
He
hasn't
just
narrowed
knows
it down
that
yet.
Those three were born.
It's someone in the Three Rivers. It's
Right.
got to be one of them.
Right. So, as a reader, if you don't know that later on, then that's kind of a question in your own mind.
Yeah.
But again, you can kind of figure it out just based on who gets the most POV.
Now, also, while we're telling this, I need to preface this for all the listeners. It's spoilers.
Yeah.
Every
At least
book,
for the
every
first
book,
book.
every book. No, every book we review is going to have spoilers in it because
We're not going to spoil for future books.
No.
We're not going to spoil for future books. No,
Yeah,
so
don't
they can
spoil
stop
for
whenever
me.
they want.
Yeah.
Because I'm reading as we go
punching
along.
and-
These guys are ahead of me. I'm going as we go
I
along.
was shocked when they all died in the second book. Okay.
Every
All right,
last
well-
one.
Real quick, you got your three. The first three we focus on. The first three of only 500 characters that Robert Jordan starts to focus on. But the first three we're introduced to is Rand, Perrin, and Matt. Three boys from the Three Rivers.
Grew up together, good
Did-
parents.
Two rivers.
Two rivers.
Three boys, two rivers.
Oh, sorry, 2
Don't
rivers.
look that up, guys.
Okay, anyway. Okay, which one had the cup? Anyway, but
Always Matt.
hey. No, I think Matt's cool because Matt's got my name. I remember I was really shocked when I read Matt as one of the names. That's not a fantasy name.
And most of them
Well,
have
like
fantasy
Rand,
names.
like Rand and
It's short
Perrin
for
are.
Matrim.
Well, I know, but they're calling him Matt for the rest of the thing, which for sure I was thinking, well, that's true. That's true. I thought you said you didn't know how to spell any of these things
Well,
because you've
when I
only
looked
listed
them up
audiobooks.
on the wiki page,
Okay, all right.
then I know.
Yes, but I still thought that was cool. But I thought that was a little, it was a little neat because the rest of them don't have. You know, I mean, Randall is Rand, and I get it.
Yeah.
But Perrin is Perrin, right? Is that not short? That's not short for anything, is it? I don't think it
I
is.
don't believe so.
That's
Just
what I picked
Perrin.
up.
Yeah,
Perrin
I don't
is
have
all
picked up anyway. Those three kids are all three very interesting. And in fact, in this book, they actually start developing their own separate characters.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're not really at first they're the same kids, right? They're the same type of kids. They're just
Oh yeah.
country
Same-
boys,
yeah.
farmers, best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then
But
eventually
they have their little nuances.
they have their little nuances, but then they really start to develop their characters on the very first book.
Yeah.
He didn't waste time.
Especially Perrin.
Well,
Yeah.
go ahead. Talk about Perrin.
whenever he meets
The Wolfman.
Elias.
Yeah, Elias.
And finds out that he can talk to wolves in some
Which
way
was
or form.
very neat.
Yeah, it's actually really cool development, and
And really, he's been my favorite character.
oh yeah,
He's
he
a real-
continues to be one of my favorite characters throughout the whole book, or the whole series.
That's actually true when I think about that, because Rand, even though he's supposed to be our central character, is not really my favorite.
No,
of the three.
No,
I think that's
I
true with
enjoy
a lot
Matt-
of readers. He's one of the least favorite.
He's the straight arrow. There's not
You-
really
you
a.
have
I mean, he's the young farmer boy that's destined to become the chosen one, and you think you'd really attach him. Everyone would attach him, like
a lot
Luke
of it-
Skywalker, you know.
And he fights against it more than I want him to. It makes him seem weak at times.
Yeah.
True, we'll talk about that. At this point, they're not sure. I think he has an idea that it's him, though, right?
Oh, yeah. He
Yeah.
knows.
He knows.
He knows.
Because he knows he was not born in the Two Rivers. Exactly.
Right. He finds that out.
And that's part
really
of the key.
Yeah, really early
third
in the book.
chapter.
Okay, yeah.
His dad gets injured and has a fever dream and starts talking about it. And then, of course, Moraine is there looking for somebody that's born within this time frame, but not in the Two Rivers.
Right.
Well, he's the only one.
He's the only
So,
one, but he doesn't
He,
reveal
like I
that.
said, he
He kind
knows
of is
that
in
he's-
denial for a lot of it,
Yeah.
but as the reader,
So, Perrin develops yellow eyes to give himself a different little character, starts talking to wolves. His character develops.
And
Matt,
he's a blacksmith boy, so he's
Yeah.
big and strong. He's got the big axe thing. that he
Yeah,
carries with
everyone
him.
kind of thinks he's a little slow, but it's because he likes
Well,
to think through things, and
but-
he just
and it's weird because his physique is. See, he seems to be the big, the
yeah.
husky kid who would get into a scrap,
Mhm.
but he's the one that's the least likely to do that.
Right.
He's got to think first.
Yes,
So
because
even though he has
knows-
the build,
yeah.
I'm just saying, even though Robert Jordan developed him with the build of a character we thought would be I love a big fight, a good scrap.
Well, he has the ability
He's
of
the
war,
exact-
but he doesn't love.
He's the exact opposite.
Which
yeah.
which was some of the good dialogue with him in Elias.
Oh yeah, his and Elias dialogue is
Absolutely.
always very deep.
It's like carry the
I
axe
really always-
until you want to use it.
Until you want, he said, I didn't
That's
want to
when
use it.
you
This
let
makes me
go.
sick. He went, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a great line. We have Matt, who is, at the beginning, he's kind of hogtied. He's got a little storyline that's going to be wrapped up later on, but
Right.
this is where he gets
You
cursed
don't
by the
get a-
dagger
Right, you don't get a whole lot of character development from him.
until book 3.
Yeah,
No,
Book
I
3,
mean,
I
just
think.
like
Once
all
he
Matt.
gets cured from the dagger, then
yeah.
his
then
character
his character actually starts growing.
starts growing. But right now,
he's just a whiny little baby.
he's a
that
well,
is
he's
terrified.
always a little troublemaker.
Mhm.
He's always a little troublemaker.
He was
that's
the one
through
that liked to do the
entire
practical
series.
jokes.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's
Versus-
a, he's
And they were
Practical
making the
jokes.
comments at the beginning that while they matured, he was still kind of pulling the old jokes that they
Yeah.
just had grown
And
past.
but he's definitely what you would call the reluctant hero. Like
No, definitely.
his
He doesn't
inner
want to
dialogue is always, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be the guy.
be. Yeah,
And he really hasn't
So-
done anything
but
heroic
he-
in the
but-
first book.
but to be
Do what?
He hasn't really done anything
No.
heroic in the first book. I
He
guess
does-
that's
he
something
does.
that comes up.
no, that's
Later
something
really
that
not
comes up
into
later.
the whole.
Rand is the
dagger.
character who's developed the most, though, because I mean he's
Yeah.
slowly figuring out things.
Yeah, because he develops the
Now,
one power.
Robert Jordan has always said that one of his big inspirations is, of course, Tolkien.
Oh yeah.
The world of Tolkien, which, to be honest, what fantasy writer of that era does not say Tolkien?
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
now you can say other people, but
right.
back
But
then,
still, it
the
all
father
kind
of fantasy.
It all goes back to.
It all goes
But
back
at
to
least his
Tolkien.
fantasy world. Now, I've heard like people talk about the Shannara books as being his direct ripoff of Tolkien. This is, while you could say is influenced by, it's not a ripoff. He's got his characters.
It's not a ripoff, but
Unique.
there are beats
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
in it, but only the first book. Only the first book. I say that he
Yeah,
starts
'cause
branching out at the first
branches
book.
out so much.
But the
more.
first book, and I don't mind it. I don't mind. In fact, I found it charming.
Well, he
that-
actually. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
He actually says if you listen to the interview at the end of one of those books, he actually said this is the way I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like the Tolkien story, like the Lord of the Rings, where they come and say, "Hey, you're the chosen one. You have to do this." And instead of him going, "Okay, well, let's go. Let me learn how to do it," he's like, no.
They're reluctant
I
heroes.
don't really want to do that.
Right,
Uh,
right. Well, the thing is, the first book is the only thing so far to me that I've been able to cross. It's very easy to connect the dots there. It's got your, and there's nothing wrong with that because, to be honest, that's the good pacing, the good beat of the story. What I mean is, and I've of course, looking at my notes here, Shades and Trollocs, they're attacked by these type of people. That's the
Ring race
beginning, the
and
ring
the
race,
Lord.
the
Yeah.
Shades of the ring race, the thing. And so you can kind of see that. The Fades, excuse me. Not Shades, Fades, excuse me. But the thing is, though, you can tell beat for beat, aha, that's what's going on here. And the orcs are kind of like the Trollocs, and so they survive a different attack, just like they would with the Fades. And then, of course, they go to a ferry. They get on a ferry, which is exactly where they get on a ferry to get away from the ring race. It's Rand who's Frodo. It's his two friends who are Merry and Pippin, essentially Merry and Pippin almost. I wouldn't even say Samwise, even though Perrin could be a Samwise. And either Pippin would be Matt.
Yeah.
Pippin would be
Oh,
Matt.
yeah.
Fool of a Tuck. Yeah. So anyway, that I found. The Aes Sedai is like a Gandalf. That's your wizard. That's your mage, so to speak.
Yeah.
They have the warder in it. He's Strider.
Yes.
It's
Definitely.
very obvious. He's the learned person. He's the one teaching them the ways of the sword, and teaching them the ways of the hunt and how to travel and all these tips. Let's see. You have things like Glamoron, but you have the fire sword, the flame sword. But is it Glamoron? Gandalf's sword? Is that what it's called? The Orc Slayer, Glamoron?
No.
I think so. But anyway, that's kind of what the fire sword is in a way. It's the ultimate, kind of the
Are
ultimate
you talking
weapon.
about Kalendor?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. And so there's a few things. Plus stopping in some inns, of course, and some of the innkeepers, the personalities. They stop in a lot of inns here.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot of inns stopping. But you know what? To be honest, I don't mind. In fact, I was very interested in how they were traveling, how they're making their pay. Rand playing the songs, playing the music. Them getting carried away. Look, that was fun.
I mean, I thought I had during
juggling.
That, I mean, most books I would have found that just boring and tedious.
Yeah.
And there was, in a lot of ways, you could say nothing was going on, but at the same time, it was enjoyable. It was fun. It was captivating and kept my attention. And I enjoyed it.
Well, the one time where he spent time writing about them playing and juggling in the inn, playing for their supper.
Yeah.
It's whenever one of the Dark Friends is after him, and he's in the crowd, and they're saying, "Oh, how do I know this guy?" There's something about him that's familiar to Rand, and then they go and have their supper, and he looks outside. Oh, it's one of the merchants from Whitebridge, and he's here. This is not coincidence. So it's showing the fun and the entertaining and using what they learned from Tom, but it's also progressing the story and giving you that sense of tension the whole time. I actually really enjoyed that one. The other ones, it just kind of says, okay, well, they played for their supper and they got a place to sleep and they didn't have to sleep under the hedges or anything like that.
There's the innkeeper who sees the sword on Rand. He wants to steal that sword, so Rand knows it and he's got to get away from that. Not really a dark fiend, but another side storyline. And so, but the thing is, though, I was really enjoying that. Bouncing place to place. Went to the farmer. Farmer's daughter was like, hey, Rand. Rand's like, I got to get out of here. You know, by the way, Rand is just totally irresistible, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
But the thing is, though, they're trying to go see the fake dragon.
Right.
Yeah.
The false dragon.
The false dragon, excuse me, that's right. And so there's a lot of beats for that. But the thing is, though, I do not mind that. I was really intrigued by just the small, as long as you keep it interesting and the travel, the whole journey.
I mean, and it felt realistic. If you're going to be traveling in those types of medieval days on foot over long periods of time, you know, you could say, hey, that's what's going to be happening. It'll be long and boring.
Spaced in a day's journey time.
Yeah.
So
another one I found was the Green Man, which is the Ent. Obviously, the Green Man's the Ent. And but like I said, there's a lot of callbacks too,
and kind of the Ent and Tom Bombadil.
Actually, yeah, you're right. He is, and even the Gleeman sacrificing himself against the Fade is like Gandalf sacrificing himself for the Fellowship so they can go on.
The last thing you hear him say is "run."
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. So I mean, you there's a lot of beats like that.
And I like how when you think he's dead, they sell it. But he doesn't end the book in a way to where when he comes back later that you feel tricked. They lay the groundwork for him coming back.
You're right, they do. We'll talk about that when he comes back, when we get to that book. But the thing is, though, you're right.
We haven't talked about him at all.
I thought
he's also one of the good characters. He's a fantastic
character. Let's talk about the Gleeman.
The Gleeman, Tom Maryland.
Yeah, it really. He's an original character in my mind.
He's the one that inspires Rand and Matt. They kind of get separated at the very beginning, and Rand and Matt are together. Perrin's on his own. Perrin encounters Elias, and then they have. He goes with Egwene, and then Matt and Rand are with the Gleeman. They're both trying to get the same spot, but it is a very good character that, of course, as we just said, sacrificed himself. But now they have to move on by themselves, and they're learning from the Gleemans.
And he's the entertainer that travels village to village.
And that's the thing. The entertainer is you think about that.
We
need an elf warrior. We need a dwarf. We need you're thinking we need someone special who's good at fighting. No, he's an actor. Yeah. He's an entertainer, and that's how he gets by. But no, he's good. Yeah.
But there's more to him than just that.
There's more to him than that.
He's worldwide, so he's able to teach these farm boys what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And plus there's more to his character that they hint at as the book goes along.
There's a lot I like about him. There's a lot I like about. I mean, right now at this point, we have a good stack of characters by Robert Jordan. That if he were just to keep with those, I'd been interested in all those. Now, there's other characters. There's one in particular that I really like. It isn't introduced until the second book. The Ogier. But the thing is, though, I mean, I can't wait to talk about him for another podcast.
Wait. The Ogier was in the first book.
No, he wasn't. Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he takes them through the
He's
ways.
he's in the inn at the Queen's Blessing.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I've been reading these back to back to back, so I guess I thought that was in book 2. That's
No.
in book 1.
When
Obviously, if you just read it, so yeah, okay.
When
Well, then I got
and
those mixed
Bran
up.
finally make it to Camelin. They
Okay.
start the Queen's Blessing.
Okay.
And he's there in the library
Well,
when Rand
and
goes
he was
in.
I know. I
surprise.
remember that.
Yeah,
I just
great
thought that
character.
was during Great Hunt because I've been reading these back to back, and I guess I didn't separate those in my mind. But okay,
Because
well,
he's
good.
With them, he's with them whenever they meet the Green Man.
Well, he's a great character. He's a great character. Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Never mind. So yeah, I can kind of see that now. He's a great character too. I love his
Oh
character.
yeah.
And
He's aptly named.
but yeah, of
Very,
course.
Very loyal.
And all of these characters that he's created just in book 1 are just great. Now we're gonna get some more characters that are decent.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
that get you get lost in the weeds after a while on who's who, and I'll talk more about that when we get to these other books I'm reading them right now.
2,700 named characters.
Yeah, and
Like
so he has the record in point of views, right? From
240, I think.
goodness
No, it
gracious.
may be 140. I can't
And the
Still,
the
he
thing,
holds the record.
yeah, he does. So, but right now, just some of the characters he's created for book 1 are just so fascinating. I mean, he created a lot of good characters. I mean, and I would say Rand's the dullest of them all. I don't mind listening to Rand because it's about him,
Yeah.
but it's about how people are interacting with him. So I don't mind that. But at the same time, we all just said Perrin and Matt are way more interesting. And then of course you got other characters too that you love.
Well,
Go ahead.
well, we've talked about pretty much all of the male characters.
Okay.
No,
Well, that's all I care about.
Many of the girls.
All right, folks.
What do
We'll
we-
see you next time. Yeah. No, all right, fine. We'll talk about the female characters.
Yeah. Well, what do y'all think of his female characters?
If I'm just saying book 1, I'm saying generic because there's the Nynaeve, who's your old, at this point, yeah. Well,
She's the wisdom.
the bullheaded wisdom, who's not going to be told what to do. Don't sass me, girl. Don't blah 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 this, and she's this the bum 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 bum. The old tough talking granny type in a way.
Right.
And she's young.
But yeah, she's
Well,
only like
she
25.
is younger,
And a lot
but
of
she doesn't.
it's written as a,
but she
as a
doesn't
whole
act-
character that
She's written as her own character, but the thing is, though, her hair's tightly woven, right? They're
braided.
not
She
braided.
has a very long braid.
Braided, and she's a very strict woman and very blah blah blah, and all the kids are scared of her in a way. They don't want. They'll get a boxing. Their ears will get a boxing for sure or something. So she's got that hard motherly figure, and you have Egwene, right?
who's the
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Who is the girlfriend, who is, in my mind, generic. Go soak your head, Randolph Thor. Okay, well, okay,
and there's
yeah.
not a whole lot going on with the.
Not in
the
the book
relationship.
1, and I, like I said, I'm limiting myself to book 1.
Yeah.
So if I limit myself to book 1, I say very generic.
Yeah.
You can tell them apart, yes, and then you have there's someone else. Who's the
Moraine.
Aes Sedai? Moraine, yeah, Moraine. Who, to be honest, are we supposed to hate her? Because I didn't
Well,
mind her in
that's
book
one thing
1.
That is the hidden thing.
Yeah.
I want you to distrust her.
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I don't know. Maybe because I've read it before.
Yeah.
It didn't do. I know
I
what they're
remember-
trying to do is try to say,
I
is she
remember
friend
the
or
first
foe?
time.
Do we?
The first time I read it, I didn't trust her because it was because Tom kept doing warnings about the.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's
Sedai.
right. That's right. That's
The
right.
first time I read it, actually, I did trust her, and
I did
I'm not
too.
Sure,
I did
I'm not
too.
sure why, but I guess mostly because it's the fantasy trope we have
Yeah.
the wise wizard that comes to town,
And that's what I
but,
felt
okay,
like.
well, I mean, you just kind of have to.
But I do remember
Yeah, sure.
not trusting her, and this time going through, being with her the whole way.
I assumed to trust her the whole time because why would she be going through the whole purpose of taking
Because I
care of these
trusted
boys?
Tom.
Well, I understand that, and that's a good point too. But the thing is, though, I don't know. I just never got that. Even though they're trying to throw that that question to
Yeah.
you.
Well, that's one of the reasons you don't read Newspring
Yeah.
first.
Is
Because if you
Newspring-
read
That's
that,
true.
then there's never any of that
There's
question.
never any qualms.
That
with her,
gives, that gives
nobody.
all of her,
Her motive.
in advance.
Yeah,
All right, we're not talking about New Spring. We're purposely saving New Spring till after book 5, right?
that's.
Publication
Generally,
order.
That's how we're going to do it.
I don't know if it's publication order, but that's just generally considered by most of the readers.
All the
You
And
spoilers
that's-
are done by then.
And I
Yeah.
should have mentioned that at the beginning of the podcast. We're going to do New Spring after book 5. Okay, so anyway, but what did you think? But just looking at book one.
and I'm not just talking about Moraine, Egwene, and Nynaeve, but just the interactions between the male and female characters in general always seem just like two rams going at it.
Battle of the
Every
Sexes.
time. Yes.
It's definitely bad.
There's never any.
I want to talk about. It's not as bad in book one, but when you get to book 3 and 4, it's exhaustive.
It is. Like there's never any just conversation. That nobody is willing to give even a millimeter to try to understand the other person.
Like, woman, you're crazy.
It's
bullheaded man.
At all,
no. It gets redundant. I mean, they toy with it a little bit in book 1, which I don't mind. Book 2, they do too, which I want to save that for later. That's Egwene the Warder. Not even the Warder. I knew.
Well, they start some of that.
Not even. They start a little bit of it, but it really escalates in book 2, which I didn't mind because they were the only ones doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you get to book 3 and 4, you're like, oh my gosh, it's on repeat. And I'd like to talk about that because I actually put that in my notes while I'm reading book 4 at this point. I put that in my notes to talk about in book 4. But right now, just looking at book 1, it's not bad. But I didn't find the characters, and to be honest, the characters aren't really explored in depth. Meaning they go off on their own until 3, right? Because when they're taking, that's when they're taking Matt to the White Tower.
Right.
Is in 3, and that's really when
they start. Falma.
Yeah, that's when their character starts growing. Because they're not. I mean, they're a factor, but they're not on their own in Great Hunt.
Yeah.
So that's later on when we'll get some development from them, and I'm happy to talk about them now. But if you're just looking at book 1, book 1, I figure, okay, because it's and to be fair, it's really focused on Rand, Perrin, and Matt, as I think it should be.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that was a slight on women. It was like, this is the focus. I mean, shoot, if you think he slights on women, you have not read The Wheel of Time.
Yeah, really.
Just Moraine's character throughout, just who she is.
All the women.
Yeah.
She's the power of the whole book.
Right.
And defender.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to say, well, he didn't know how to write women because he writes them all as bullies, then you might have a little bit to stand on.
Again,
but there is progression. I know.
Let's table this one because I really want to tackle that in a later book. I really want to tackle that in a later book because right now I can't use the information that we have just going with book 1.
That's true.
I agree though.
I'm not there yet, so I can't say
I know. That's the other thing. Anything else with book 1? But did you know that there were comic books on book 1? A comic book series.
They did 36 issues adapting the first book in an 8-issue series doing Newspring. But at that rate, they weren't keeping up with the series.
Oh, okay.
And they only did the Newspring is 8 and Eye of the World in 36, which I got. I plan on going through those. But I mean, it looks like it's just straight up adaptation.
That is neat because you get to see the visual aspects of it, which I think would be interesting. I'm still glad. I'm doing a little bit back and forth. Of course, Stephen's given me the audiobooks. Some aren't in the best of condition. Some stuff in being. I mean, it's better than nothing. Yeah. And the thing is, though, it's been great because as I'm pushing my girls around, I'm listening to these. I'm actually speeding through the books a lot faster because then I'm reading on my own and then picking back up in between. It's been really good ending on a chapter, beginning on this chapter. It actually motivates me to get to the end of a chapter. I say, no, I got to start this chapter here, so I got to finish this off.
Yeah.
So it's really enabled me to get these books and get a good speed into them. But book 1 is just a solid read overall, I think.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It definitely hooks you in. You're definitely involved in the world already. You understand what's going on. They do a great job about the dragon reborn, the prophecy. They explain that out, flesh that out properly to where it sets up. Now you're ready for the journey.
Right.
Now you know the world building.
That's one of the great things about the not the prelude, but the.
I know what you mean. Whatever it was,
yeah. Anyway, with Lews Therin and
yes,
is that you have this huge event, and then it shrinks right down to just, you know, three boys in a small town and everything, and the troubles that they have, and fleeing from that. And really, it doesn't take but a couple of chapters before you completely forget about this huge event that started all this.
Right.
And then as things are happening, you start thinking, oh wait, this over here happened, and we've got to get back to that huge big picture. And that's what he does in the next 4 or 5 books.
Yeah.
Is he goes from huge event, small, and then boom.
That's
way
actually
out.
right.
And then I'm doing all these hand gestures as if people can see.
That's right. That's right. No, but you're actually right. Because book 2, when we talk about Great Hunt, is one of those small adventures, very focused, very central, and then boom, the world starts to open after that. So it's really good. So overall, obviously, we're going to recommend this entire series, folks. But we're going to break it down from book to book, and we're even going to tell you what we like and don't like. Book 1, there's nothing really I can complain about. Because, like I said, it's saying, oh, well, those women are just kind of one-trick ponies. Well, later on, they're going to be explored.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So that's unfair to say. In fact, the book is not about them. It's not focused on them.
Yeah.
For book 1,
definitely.
I don't really have a big complaint. I mean, I'm sure I can nitpick it if I wanted to, but I just don't. I think it's a pretty solid book.
Yeah, it is. It's very good.
Yeah. So pick up book 1, folks. I think you'll really enjoy it. All right.
Did y'all want to talk about any
go
of
ahead.
the movie or show adaptation on, like, how we think that's going to, how they're going to do certain points in the book and what it's going to look like? Or
I've heard just a couple rumors.
Right now, all they're working on, season 1, I'm assuming, is Eye of the World, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about it. I mean,
Well, there
Trollocs
have been some leaks
Oh,
and
okay.
pictures and stuff like
Oh,
that.
go ahead.
Pictures
Tell
of
us.
the cast just a little
Yeah,
while ago.
pictures of the cast. There was a picture of this like kind of a stone staircase that I think that they're probably going to use it as one of the way gates. But it's going to have. I mean, it was just kind of generic stairs.
I can't wait to see a
columns
Waygate
on the
because
side.
all I can think about is Stargate. Every time they talk about it, I can see
See,
Stargate.
I think of.
And I know that's not what it looks like, but in my mind, I always see a Stargate.
So in my mind, I think of like the Secret Garden.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing but a bunch of vines and everything. And they got to find the right leaf
To go through,
to
yeah.
turn, and then all of a sudden it just turns into, well, a little bit more like Stargate.
Stargate, yeah.
with like the fuzzy.
And yours is more accurate than mine is, but every time I know they're describing it, but all I see is a Stargate. I'm like, yeah, they're going through a Stargate. I mean, it's a door, but
Yeah.
But no, I feel. I mean, there's going to be. Obviously, they're going to spend some money on this. Obviously, they got to.
They have a huge budget.
But to be honest,
8 to 10 million per episode.
Eye of the World.
Oh
was,
my goodness!
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be able to keep this up for 14 seasons.
Well, they won't have to as the series drags. But,
yeah, but
Eye of the World.
You think of the characters that last from book 1.
Oh, they're going to have a
through.
billion. There's going to be work in Hollywood. Let me just tell you that.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they do it well
Hopefully
enough
they
that
have-
it pulls enough people in.
Yeah, well, if they cast them and say, okay, this is your contract, this is how many episodes we need for you.
No, they cast
all the way
complete
through.
nobody.
Here's
they're
my.
getting them
Well,
all.
that's how you say that.
Because every
That's how you say
season
that
they
money.
get a little
Some
more.
bodies that they cast in Game of Thrones, they knew were going to be dead by the end of the
Here's
season.
here's the thing that worries me the most. And I don't know how much I do. I mean, I like the series. Do I safeguard it like I do Lord of the Rings? Heck no. No, I don't. So, but I don't want too big a deviation. The thing that pisses me off more than anything is when Hollywood thinks they can tell a better story than what the books did. And you can't. There's a reason the books are bestsellers.
Yeah.
And every time you make changes, I can't think of an example where I've seen a change better in the movie than there was in the book. That's why the book is generally better, except for Last Mooney. Pretty awesome movie.
Yeah.
Pretty-
I read the book after
pretty,
I saw the movie.
pretty
I'm
slow. No, you can't do
Sorry,
that. You can't do that.
It's-
You read the book's fine. You see the movie, you're like, that looks better. That's really the only example I can find because Jurassic Park is a much better book.
Yeah.
No, I mean the movies are fine too. I enjoy them, but it's a much better
The thing
book.
that I always, and what really started this hatred between movies and based off the book was with Harry Potter. I saw the first three before even reading the books. Then I read the books, and after that, it kind of ruined the movies for me. But what really, really bothers me, and I understand that you're going from one medium to another. You cannot put everything from the book visually, especially whenever everybody that's read the books, listened to the books, or whatever, has in their head what something looks like. And then they see it on the screen, and well, that's not what I thought it was supposed to look like.
But see, for the most part, I was okay because they had to skip things or make some bookends because they could not wrap up the storyline that the book does because they didn't have the time.
Right.
When you're doing
they also didn't know exactly where the story was going. So some of the things
you're talking about Harry Potter,
yeah, that they would leave out of the movies became extremely important.
J.K. Rowling could have said something, but she chose
I
not
don't know
to.
That she knew.
No, she didn't because she didn't even write the books. I don't believe that.
Oh my goodness!
I don't believe
your issue here.
I don't believe that at all. Anyway, but the thing is, though, with Harry Potter, I forgave it. Now, if Harry Potter was a TV show, I would not forgive it.
I agree.
And Lord of the Rings, the movies, I don't forgive because those books are quintessential to me, and I want them perfect. If they were to skip over things like Tom Bombadil, I understand why for time purposes. But dadgummit, I want me some Tom Bombadil in a TV show of Lord of the Rings. I do. You give it to me all, and I don't mind it. I mean, honestly, BBC should have grabbed these back in the 80s or 70s and done these because I think I would have loved that.
Yeah.
Because I'm liking what I'm rewatching the Narnia BBC, and I really it's creative on low budget. It's very creative, and it sticks very faithful to the books. Okay. Very faithful to the books. Very good. But the thing is, though, on a TV show, you should. And I always thought Harry Potter would make a great TV show rather than
it was
the movies.
Too big for
well, Daniel Radcliffe is, he's 18 during the third movie. I mean, and you can tell. So
they all aged pretty fast.
Yeah, that fourth movie
happens when you hit.
They all.
Well, movies are every 3 years or 2 years.
No, they were doing those about a year and a half. They were doing about as fast as you
But
could.
they were still growing up way too fast. But in a TV show, it's every year, so they grow up. You do one season, one book every season. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and each book was.
Yeah, and now here's what they're doing for Robert Jordan. So I'm glad. These shouldn't be movies. If they are movies, they'd be skipping to them. But they have to. TV shows, you got tons of foil. In fact, are they going to do all of Eye of the World in one season, or are they going to do it in two? Because you can keep this thing going.
There are rumors, and most of it's based on some set photos that have been leaked, and people are like, "Wait, that doesn't look like where they should be."
Right.
And then some of the episode names that they're thinking they may combine book 1 and 2 for the first season.
Really fast.
Yeah. Now, they might do that for the first.
I see what they're doing there because you don't want to go 14. I mean, there's seasons.
14 seasons.
No. I get that, and you want to do it now before the books really grow up.
I mean, I can just.
But the middle can be combined into one season.
Oh yeah, the slog could
the 4 books.
Be half a season.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, nothing happens. So that they don't need to rush. Because they're going to lose about 4 books in one season, and they can dissolve those in other seasons. So you look at 8 seasons, which is right about where they probably want.
I think they could probably tell the entire story in about 5 or 6 seasons.
5 would be kind of hard. 6 if they're stepping it up, yes. But I think, how long did Game of Thrones go? Didn't it go 8, not 10? Okay. 8 seasons is a pretty. 8 seasons is a pretty sweet spot, but they could do it in that time. I just hope that since they're doing a TV show, they just remain true to the characters and remain true to the big things. I can forgive it if they want to change a few things.
Small changes and stuff.
Small changes, I guess I'm okay with. Yeah. But
I just don't like it when they change things for absolutely no reason.
Yes, I don't want that. That's the thing that worries me.
I mean, whenever Robert Jordan is very, very wordy when it comes to his descriptions of the way things look, what people are wearing, the style, and everything like that. If they change that for no reason, just because, well, we couldn't really figure out what he was talking about here. All right, there are plenty of fans. You can find people that know the book, and Robert Jordan's assistant is pretty heavily involved with the production, or maybe not the production, but with writing the episodes and stuff. But if you start changing things for absolutely no reason, then that's whenever I get upset. There's just, changing a character's name, or in fact, one of the leaked reads or scenes or something like that is a conversation between Rand and Matt that didn't happen between them. It happened between Rand and Egwene. And I'm like, why? Why change that? There's no reason.
And that's where I'm hoping they don't. They don't do stuff like that. But Hollywood seems to feel like, oh, we know better than the author who sold the best-selling author selling series.
Well,
I just
they'll
think
a
that's
lot of
so
times
arrogant.
do those kind of things just so that certain people get more screen time and more
Screen time, or they
more
want to surprise their audience. The thing is, no, you surprise me if you stick to the actual script and the actual feel and spirit of the books.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest hope.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Yeah, every character doesn't have to have equal amount of screen time in every season.
And they're going to get screen time later on.
These characters are going to get their time.
And I'm pretty sure they would know that. So
I hope so. Apparently, Rafe Judkins, who's heading it all up, is a super fan.
And they need that. They need that. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fine. I think my feeling is it'll be fine. Plus, I'm okay with a few minor changes like you talked about. So I don't. Yeah. What do you think? TV show.
But you guys
do you have any worries, concerns? Okay, what?
Oh, I've heard some stuff that sounds like they're big departures. I don't know if it's just rumor or what, but one thing he said that Perrin was married and his wife died during the.
Yeah, there was something like that. There's a named character that they cast that has the same name. It's a female that has the same last name. I can't remember what the first name is. And there are rumors that they're going to have him already married before they leave. But it could be a younger sister. Maybe it is a wife. I don't know that that's such a big deal.
That's how they play it. And for why?
Something happens later on that I think that they're probably trying to set something up so that it has a little bit more of an impact on Perrin.
So they can have some skips in the TV that the book's going to have more time with.
Yeah. Not necessarily that character.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't want to give anything.
We'll stop there.
You don't think that's too crazy?
I don't think that's terrible.
That's good.
No.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
As long as they don't dwell too much on it. I mean,
I know
time in the Two Rivers is a very, very short part of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true too.
So as long as they don't dwell too long on that character, if they're not doing what I'm thinking, then it should be fine.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. There's book 1.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, come back. We're going to do book 2 next. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a great hunt. And we'll see you next time on Princes of the Universe. Whenever you read The Wheel of Time, you feel like it's the Wheel of Fortune. And by the time you get to book 8, your interest goes bankrupt.